stood out to you about the kind of pro he is?
That specifically, really unusual fitness levels for a young man. It takes them a long time, all athletes, to grow into that kind of strength. So he's a good pro and put a lot of time into being a good pro. And then it doesn't take you very long. You get out in the ice with you see the way he moves in the net, just real strong. Really good thing for this franchise to have two spectacular goalies at your disposal.
Obviously, that's like the ultimate like good problem to have is two good goalies. Like,
Yeah, it's not a problem.
Yeah, like how do you just manage two goalies like that? What's your kind of philosophy on it, that situation?
Well, keep them both fresh and sharp. That's a priority of your team and your goaltenders. Give them enough work that they can stay into. I think one of the things you really need with that is you need a great communicator as a goalie coach, and we have that in Robbie Tallis. He's got a strong relationship with both guys, so that's a big part of it as well. They just make sure they get enough net time. You know, we will always have a plan for each month, what we'd like to see happen, and then you make adjustments as you go. But with both of these guys, we're gonna put a guy in the net because it's gonna give us a chance to win every night.
Have you talked to Robbie about the scheduling? I mean, because last year Bob got in there for game one and really didn't give it up. The first half of the season, he was playing 7 out of 8.
Yeah, we have talked about it. What a good workload, assuming great performance by both goaltenders. What makes sense. I'm not firing out what numbers those are, but we do have a plan for that, and that's the assumption. But both guys will get on hot streaks. Both guys will have lulls. That's just natural and normal, and then we'll try to adjust from there.
Yeah, so I'm just asking, is there a thought that maybe Knight needs to get more playing time maybe early on than he did? Because it seemed to affect him. When he did get in, he did look rusty.
Yeah, I'll go back to my original answer. The plan is to keep both guys very, very sharp. And I will defer to Rob Tallis on a lot of being able to do that. He has experience and expertise in it, but we will endeavor to keep both men sharp.
And what have you talked to Rob about Spencer Knight specifically? It seems like for a young kid, he's got that short memory thing pretty down. I mean,
Yeah,
he makes a mistake and gives up a goal, and it doesn't seem to affect his game at all.
What a great strength. So many times it takes years to develop that, right? You don't get in your own head. And a lot of times you have to play a certain number of games where you get forced into amnesia because you're going every night and you just let things go because you're going back in. But he seems to have developed that in a more difficult situation too. But I think that's maybe what I've seen the hallmark of this young man is that he is mentally tough. He is mentally sharp, very focused on what he needs to do. So there should be some real good goaltending for the Florida Panthers for a lot of years.
How impressed you with it's just him above the shoulders? I mean, talking to him, it sounds like he's a 35-year-old veteran. He's really insightful.
He a great personality on him, like very, very bright, very, very connected to his family, well-raised young man. And it does come through in your conversations with him. So those guys are great to deal with, right? As a coach, you almost don't have to say hello to them in the morning, and often they do their business. And there's a lot of players like that. We just call them great pros, but unusual that you see a man that young that has those attributes.
Thanks, guys. We've got time for just one more.
Just real quick, you guys got a preseason game tomorrow against Carolina. How have you decided how you're going to split the team up? Was that the game group that was out there?
No, I was heavy loaded to the veteran players in one group. No, we'll split these as well with the guys that are in camp for the most part. Some of this is we'll start looking at power play units in each game, so those players would have to be in, so their lines get to play because it's a power play unit that we're playing. We'll go a little older here tomorrow night, and we'll go a little younger in the road games, and then just adjust to injuries from there.
And just Lundell working with Barkov a little bit. Is that just more of just seeing what?
I just want to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, I really like this young man as a player, and the more positions a young guy can play, geez, the more you can move him around. There'll be a fair amount of experimentation in the next 3 games. The last one, I'm not saying that I'm going to play the whole lineup, but by the time we get to the last one, I'll be set in terms of how we practice to how we'll start the season. The caveat is injuries.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, guys.
Thanks, Paul.